This video features 26 classic automobiles built between 1904 and 1909. Most images were captured at the Henry Ford Museum of American Innovation in Dearborn, Michigan, and at the Crawford Auto Aviation Museum in Cleveland, Ohio. This is the second entry in a series, so if you want to see more, please subscribe and click the like button. Enjoy the video. The Baker Motor Vehicle Company hailed their 1904 Newport as a light carriage which is bound to win great popularity at summer resorts. It was targeted to women, was battery-powered, free of lubricants, all allowing occupants to wear their finest gowns. It featured a wicker seat, velvet upholstery, leather fenders, a French Surrey top, front headlights, and two side lights. The 1904 Packard Model L was among the earliest automobiles large enough for a family, but few families could afford it. In 1904, automobiles were playthings that hadn't yet replaced buggies, trains, and trolleys for everyday transportation. The large and powerful Packard cost $3,000 at the time when the average wage was $490 per year, so it was no surprise that Packard sold only 207. The Pope-Hartford Model B tonneau featured a single-cylinder engine under the driver's seat and a European-style false hood up front. The two-cylinder 1904 Rambler Model K, with its steering wheel and front-mounted engine, was fairly advanced for an American car in 1904. It was advertised as a car that stands wear without constant repair, a car that you can rely upon year in and year out. This 1904 Model D, carrying a touring body with a rear entrance tonneau, was made by the White Sewing Machine Company and features a double steering wheel, which combines the steering wheel and the throttle. The side wicker baskets were most likely used to carry lap robes to keep passengers warm, tools, picnic lunches, or other supplies. The radiator on the front is actually a condenser, which recycles the steam back into water and back into the auto steam generator. The 1905 Ford Model B did not sell well, only about 500 cars in 20 months, but one element of the car had a long life. The rear axle and drive shaft design, patented by Henry Ford in 1903, remained in use on Ford cars through 1948. The 1905 Franklin Model F tonneau was a popular addition to the runabout style, capable of carrying up to 5 passengers on pleasure outings. Instead of having a door in the rear, this model is accessed by tilting the left front seat to the side. These Franklins had air-cooled engines and were chain-driven, attaining a top speed of 30 miles per hour. In 1905, Peerless had only been in the automobile business for 4 years, but had already established a reputation for building vehicles that were technically advanced and visually elegant. Peerless also developed a reputation for speed in the early days of automobile racing, as it claimed all the 1904 World Circular Track records ranging from 1 to 50 miles. It has the prestigious King of Belgium body, so called because the style is similar to that which King Leopold II of Belgium had custom built by a French coach builder in the early 1900s. The Stanley Steamer had a distinctive coffin-shaped hood over the engine, which was retained into the late 1910s. Their 1905 Model G Speedster teased their sports-minded clients by using the 78-inch runabout chassis. A common owner's criticism in models without condensers was the need to replenish the water supply, which necessitated a stop in as little as every 20 miles. In 1906, Baker switched from producing electric carriages to producing automobiles. It made 800 cars that year, including this Imperial runabout model, making them the largest electric vehicle makers in the world. In comparison to its steam and gasoline-powered contemporaries, electric vehicles were far easier to start and drive and were also much easier and more cost-effective to repair. Topping the sales charts in 1906, two-seater runabouts like this one were favored by middle-class Americans who could afford one as they were faster and more rugged than buggy-style high-wheelers. This Ford Model N offered 4 cylinders and a shaft drive, plus it cost less. At $500, it became the best-selling car in America, but it was too small for most families. The E.R. Thomas Company of Buffalo, New York manufactured this Thomas Flyer touring car during its peak production year of 1906. Known for their high performance, worn out in 1908 when a Flyer won the New York to Paris race, they were also expensive as this vehicle sold for $3,700. The company faltered a few years after Henry Ford perfected his Model T. Ford's board of directors wanted to offer a broad spectrum of autos, including a large, luxurious, and expensive one for the 1906 model year, resulting in the 1907 Model K touring car. It was attractive, but it had several faults, the most notable of which was the use of a planetary transmission that was not suited to a large vehicle, and so the model suffered frequent breakdowns. The Model K did not sell well, and the company lost money on them. In 1877, George Selden patented the idea for a self-propelled gasoline-powered vehicle, and the Association of Licensed Automobile Manufacturers enforced Selden's patent, but Henry Ford fought ALAM in court and won, resulting in this 1907 Selden motor buggy. Between 1906 and 1913, Garford Manufacturing Company built cars at the higher end of the price spectrum for the Studebaker Corporation. These upper-tiered models were preferred by well-to-do ladies of the day and were intended for short trips in the absolute lap of luxury. This 1907 Studebaker-Garford Model H Landaulet was custom-ordered for Mrs. Bertha Palmer and painted in her favorite colors with brass accents and fine-crafted cherry wood. Millionaire industrialist John D. Rockefeller bought a white steamer, as did Wild West showman Buffalo Bill Cody. These men, born before the Civil War, might have felt more comfortable with steam than with newer technologies such as internal combustion. This vehicle is a 1907 white Model G steam touring car. The 1907 Winton Model M touring car had a 3-speed sliding gear transmission rather than the individual clutch-type transmission of its earlier models, and it had a mechanically controlled throttle instead of compressed air system used in all previous models. It introduced the clamshell style of fenders, which would not be adopted by most auto manufacturers until the 1920s. These changes in Winton's production illustrate a trend towards standardization that began in the second decade of American auto manufacture. The 1908 Columbus Auto-Buggy was a high-wheeler of the type common to the Midwest at the time, with tall, spindly wheels, an air-cooled twin-cylinder engine, and chain drive. Not notably sophisticated, it was charming, hard-wearing, and simple to work on, making it ideal for the deeply rutted farm roads of its era. It was made for 2 years before being succeeded by a modern, more powerful, and luxurious Firestone Columbus. Elmore Autos featured 3- and 4-cylinder engines and fairly standard styling, as seen in this Elmore Model 30. While early Elmores were small and not very powerful, they had impressive race and reliability test results and became popular as taxicabs. The Ford Model S Roadster was an accidental design. The Model R was based on the Model N, using the same engine and chassis, but with a wider body, larger wheels, and running boards. When the company ran out of Model R bodies and wheels, it put the R's running board on the Model N's and called it the Model S. Early car buyers expected that motor vehicles should look like carriages, but automobiles need things carriages don't: radiators, windshields, controls, horns, and hoods. Early automakers developed simple solutions where brass was often used for carriage trim and was adopted for radiators, levers, and horns. Windshields were glass plates in wood frames, and rectangular sheet metal covers hid engines, resulting in a surprisingly attractive mix of materials, colors, and shapes, as seen in this 1908 Stevens-Duryea Model U limousine. The 1909 Auto-Bug was a 22-horsepower, two-cylinder high-wheeler with an unusual stationary rear axle. Production began in June 1909, and the Auto-Bug was introduced at the Cleveland Automobile Show in January 1910, offering 4 model styles. However, production was short-lived, and the Auto-Bug was finished by April 1910. Henry Ford's Model T was the first automobile big enough, good enough, and cheap enough for middle-class Americans. Mass production methods steadily lowered the price, allowing even more families to incorporate cars into their daily lives. This Model T was made in January 1909 and is the 5th oldest known to exist. Robert Hupp used high-quality materials in an auto that was small, lightweight, and affordable, resulting in the sporty, little two-seat Huppmobile Model 20 runabout. Although it was designed to be low-priced, the Huppmobile featured several carryovers from racing cars: the gas tank behind the seat, bucket seats, and a leather safety strap over the hood. Its body style, especially the elongated hood, resembled many of the high-powered and higher-priced racebouts of the time. The 1909 Sears Model H Runabout was a basic automobile, but the car's high wheels and solid rubber tires were well matched to the era's rough roads, selling nearly 3,500 autos before leaving the business in 1912. The Simplex Model 90 Double Roadster was the most powerful automobile available to the 1909 consumer and blended race car engineering with luxurious styling. It included German Krupp EF60 chrome nickel steel gears, axles, shafts, and the frame. Fine coach builders, such as Holbrook, were commissioned to make the bodies, resulting in this powerfully elegant automobile. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please press the like button if you did. Also, subscribe to see more videos in this series. Thank you.